Good Sunday morning. It is a warm one outside today. Unlike yesterday where it was just humid, today is heat. Might as well go back to Arizona with this crazy weather and this heat. But I left Arizona. Well, Mom and I left Arizona because we wanted to get away from the heat, the dry heat. I did not think it was going to get as humid as it was yesterday because yesterday was high of 79 with 100% humidity. And I was like, north, let's go north. But Mom doesn't want to go north because it's too cold. I'm going to address one comment because this one particular person with this one comment kind of irritated me. And the only reason why I want to deal with this one comment, and this is the last time I'm going to deal with these negative Neelys and questioning the truth, because I heard it, I read it, but Diane wanted to know why did she think she saw the word prostate on the files that Jerry showed. And then she wanted to go and turn around and say that everything was false because the documents looked false to her. Because we weren't showing the doctor's name nor the address or location of the hospital that she had her diagnosis dealt with and the surgery and whatnot dealt with. Yes, I would be confused too if I saw the word prostate on a woman's file. I don't remember seeing the word prostate on any of Jerry's files. I remember the files talking about stage 4 cancer. I remember them describing the cancer, where it was located, and that it metastasized. I can't even say the word. It metastasized into her bones, skipping her lungs because the particular type of cancer that she has, usually the normal course for it is the kidney, the lungs, and then the bones. It didn't touch her lungs. All the scans and all the tests that they've done for her since last year, almost a year ago today. No. Has it been a year? No, it was a year ago about this time, after her birthday, like late July. She started having the pains and discomforts. But anyhow, it's been about a year since everything started up. And I have never seen any of her documents or heard her doctor say anything about her prostate. Like, no, that's a man's problem, not a girl's problem. So, or a woman's problem, however you want to put it. But the accusation, or however you want to put it, I can't think right now, that everything's been falsified. How? How could we falsify documents that the doctor's office, the medical people have in their records? We only have a copy of a copy from the doctors. That, and my mom, who was a medical transcriptionist, knows that sometimes medical transcriptionists, the people who type out the actual information from the doctor, can make mistakes. So if there was anything about prostate on there, it was a clerical error. But you know what, Diane? You can believe me. You don't have to believe me. There's nothing I can do nor will do to prove you otherwise. So I'm going to let you run with your little fantasy that everything's falsified. I showed it to everybody once in one of my old videos. And I think I accidentally showed the actual doctor's name and location. I can't give you the doctor's name, but the location of SLU, which is in St. Louis, Missouri. It's their major, it's one of Mercy's partners that does a lot of major stuff between cancer and just everything medical. It's also a medical school, just like the one up in Columbia. I was trying to remember, is it Columbia, then Jeff, or is it Jeff, then Columbia? But it's one of those two. It's the most northern one out of the two. Or is it the most? I don't know. I'd have to go look at the paperwork to tell you which is where the No, we were only going to that one up north for her eyes, not for her cancer. Everything to do with her cancer has either been right here in Rolla or in St. Louis at SLU. But they're affiliated with Mercy Health, and that's all I can remember. The name SLU, and it's associated with Mercy Medical Services or System. But anyhow, I didn't even have to sit down and answer this question, Dee, Diane, however you want to call your name. Sorry, I can't get your name straight because you've changed it at least 3 different times since you've been on YouTube. And you've only been on YouTube for a short period of time, not like me and Jerry, who've been here 3, 4, 5, 6 years. But I didn't even have to go this far. But because you asked the question, because you were confused about the prostate comment that you thought you saw, I don't know what you saw. I just know what's on the records. And as for trying to accuse us of falsifying documents or anything like that, you're getting fed garbage from third parties, and because I can tell that you're being filled with garbage from a third party, maybe even a fourth party, the rest of your comment is illegitimate in my brain because of the fact that you want to be accusing us of something that the bakery has accused us of and other people have accused us of. So, you can run with whatever fantasy you want to. That's your choice. No, I can't stop you from doing that. But anyhow, that's that. Let's get into the depth of what I wanted to get into today. And I picked out 2 particular Bible verses that I thought were very good. Actually, 3 now that I look at my notes. I'm sorry, actually this whole page, but I'm not going to get into every single one of them. The first one I want to get into that just caught my eye is from Luke chapter 6 verses 27 through 31, excuse me. See what I just did right there? I got my tongue tied. Somebody's going to think, oh, he's pulling, whatever out of his butt. Well, that's their problem. Anyhow, it says here, but you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. If somebody slapped you on the cheek, turn to them the other one also. If somebody took your coat, do not withhold your shirt from them. Give to anyone who asks you, and if anyone take what belongs to you, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. I think that's very pertinent to the last couple of days. And I'm trying to live by that. Luckily to the modern day age, a lot of so-called slapping is usually via, the internet, and so what? The only harm they're doing is to themselves, not to me. Next one is kind of interesting. It is Luke 6:35. And it says here, but love your enemies, do good to them, and lend to them without expectation. Or expecting to get anything back. When your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High, because He is kind to ungrateful and because He is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. I've had people ask me, why do you put up with it? Why do you let them say what they're saying? Why do you let them put you down? Why do I let them put my wife down? Because they're not doing it. They're not really harming us. They're trying to, but all they're doing is, showing their true character. Next one I want to read is from Romans. And it is Romans 12:20 and 21. On the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Basically, what you're doing is you're providing what he wants, and all it's going to do is cause him more problem in the afterlife. Proverbs. Ooh, I love Proverbs. Proverbs 10:12. And this is a good one for today, or this week. Hatred stirs conflict, but love covers all wrongs. Now think about that. A lot of these people that are spreading hatred, as long as I love them, as long as I, don't retaliate, it's a form of love and it covers all their wrongs. But the thing is, no matter what wrongs they do, they'll be on the scales upstairs. Simple as that. Proverbs. Another proverb. Chapter 3, verses 3 and 4. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on a tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Just think about that. No matter what wrongs are done to you, the lies, the name calling, the questioning of your honor and truth, that's going to pile up against them. Yet, the love I show for these people, the tolerance I show for these people, that's going to build up for me. That's going to build up my reward when I get to heaven. Now, I know in my past, I didn't think about those things because I was more of I want tangible stuff. I want stuff that I can grab a hold of. I want stuff that I can see, feel, smell, do what I want. But then I woke up and realized it doesn't matter. All the stuff I have around me, all my books, my computer, my game system, my games, all these things, they're material things. They're not going to matter when I pass away. They're just going to be piles of stuff that is going to either be used by another person or waste away in a landfill. So what if, my house looks like a little bit of a clutter because we have a lot of stuff. And we have plans for a lot of the stuff that we currently have because we have been getting rid of van loads of stuff. Now, some people might say, you're just getting rid of stuff to get new stuff. Well, in a sense, yeah, that's true. But the thing is, we're also not getting stuff that we don't need. That's just going to sit around and waste away because nobody's reading them. Nobody's dealing with them. Nobody's doing anything with it. Well, why do I keep it? I don't. I don't buy stuff just for the sake of buying stuff. There's a lot of things that Jerry has bought for herself or for the camping or for me that we use. We've gotten to the point where it's like we're not going to get it unless we use it, unless we have a use for it. Jerry's gotten a lot of stuff for her craft room, and a lot of it is storage stuff. There's a few things that come and go out of style, and she got it just to make sure she had some of it to use it for a future craft. And yes, she's starting to get into the craft room and planning out crafting. We have some minor things still to deal with, and then she wants to go through all her boxes and bins and whatnot to purge. Ow, I just bit my lip, or my gum, my cheek, whatever you want to call it. And see, we're not just willy-nillying anything anymore. We've got purposes, we got plans, we got ideas. And for the most part, we're working on them. We're not just going, oh yeah, that looks great. We might have a purpose for it in the future. Let's place it into the pile or bin or whatever that has like items. See, she likes to organize. So everything has a bin or a box or a place. I don't know where everything goes in her room, so 9 times out of 10, I take whatever she buys and puts it on her work table so she can deal with it as soon as she gets in there the next time around. And she's finally getting to the point where she can do it. Now, my biggest concern is she is going, Monday, she goes to the doctor to plan out her radiation treatment for her back. And, sorry, that's Monday. Tuesday, we got nothing going on, and so we might do something around the house. We might just, depending on how she feels. Like today, she's feeling tired. Her eyes still hurt from the shots on Friday. So I said, put your eye mask on, take a nap, do whatever, pull a pillow where it's resting on the side of her head and blocking out the sunlight, but she's not suffocating. See, everything we do has a rhyme or reason. Now, I had a person suggest to me getting a Bible that I can read and understand. It's not the Bible. It's me. It's a combination of my eyes. That's why I use readers. I do have an eye appointment either this week or the beginning of next week. I can't remember. In fact, there's an appointment that's coming up on a day that I need to rearrange that appointment because of things that are somewhat out of my control. But we haven't settled on how we're going to deal with it. There's a lot of things that are happening that are not in my control. I cannot control what other people think about us, whether we're speaking the truth or not, and they say we're not because of the fact that there's inconsistencies. Well, life is full of inconsistencies. There is no inconsistent item in life that is going to be the same. Every day is different. So every day I might have a different opinion. Every day I might have something different to say that might sound like I'm contradicting myself from the day before or whatever. That's life. If people can't understand that, that's not my problem, that's theirs. Okay, life, nature, everything that has to do with being who we are, if it's not constantly changing in one way, shape, or form, something's wrong. Like, I had one person say to me, "You're 50 years old and you're still reading books." Yeah, and they said, "Why don't you have a tablet or some sort of Audible? Use Audible to read books to you." And I'm like, one, I don't have the money for an Audible or those tablets that are just basically have book information in there. I don't have that kind of money. Two, I would prefer something about holding a book, reading the book for yourself, and something about books, whether it's the feel, the smell, the actual experience of reading the book and not having a tablet read it to you where you might have to pause it every so often just to get clarification or get your mind to wrap around the information, whatever. Books you can pick up and read whenever, you can put it down whenever. You can write notes on the side, on the side, I like books. I can't, no, I just can't like get myself to get a digital device to do it for me, because scientists are saying more and more that the less we do for ourselves, the more lazy we become, the more lethargic, the less activity we have, because we're having a digital device do it for us. Somebody had mentioned on a web page, a technology web page, about a month or two ago, talking about how the new virtual reality can give you the full dive experience of what you're doing with the VR system. And they said you won't, people with allergies or who can't get out of their home for one reason or another can fully experience the sights, sounds, and even they're talking about smells of walking through a park or camping or stuff like that. And they're talking about this could be a reality by 2025, 2030. And I'm sitting there going, well, yep. And there goes the world, because, people are going to stop going out and doing for themselves. They're just going to sit at home with this VR set on and live a virtual reality life. And I'm like, that's not fun. That's not fun. How are you going to get a virtual reality device to give the sensation of touching trees or running your hand over a tall field of grass or wheat? I'm sorry, my brain can't go. I'm not sophisticated enough to deal with that. That's just, no, that's above and beyond, sounds like a corporate way of making it where people don't realize that the corporations, certain kinds of corporations are destroying the world by clear-cutting forests and digging big old holes in the ground for a couple pounds worth of titanium or ore of one form or another. I know titanium doesn't come out of the ground. It's a man-made ore or element, whatever. But it's just like, what the? But anyhow, sorry, I went off. I chased a rabbit down a hole. Let's get back to what I was talking about before, the Bible, and what, to me, the Bible is saying. I strongly believe that the Bible wants us to be, kind to each other, love each other, not nitpick, not accuse of falsification unless, there's actual documentation. I don't think I don't have a leg to stand on to talk about Diane and her family and her life. I can sit there and watch her videos and go, oh, cute granddaughter, happy for her son getting his job, hoping he can get a driver's license so, he can get to and from work. Whatever his issues were in the past, it sounds like he's trying to clean them up. Like my family, I'm glad that her family lives with her. Not just so they can take care of each other, but it's kind of like a support system. Like, I support my wife with whatever she wants to be, whatever she wants to do. She wants to get up out of the bed and go in the craft room and start working in the craft room. That's great. I'll help her as much as I can. I'll support her with that. If she wants to, try her best to be Miss Independence with her limitations, hey, great. I'll support her with that. Mom, she's trying to do as much as she can to keep herself going and mentally stable. She now recognizes that she does have a low-level form of dementia. But her mind is very sharp. So I don't know if to call it dementia or just getting old. They support me with whatever I decide I want to do. If I want to sit here and study everything and anything about the Nordic people and their occupation of being Vikings, they support me with that. They let me do what I want as long as I'm not trying to hurt myself. That's support. What Diane has, what I'm hearing that Diane has right now in her home, I would call a support system. The granddaughter keeps her busy. her son is trying to clean up his act and keep busy and do the right thing. I don't hear her talking too much about the daughter-in-law, but it's none of my business. It really is not. But I'll support Diane for taking care of her family, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take care of our families. We're supposed to help take care of each other. We're stewards of the world, not destroyers, not controllers, not judges, not jury. We're human beings that are supposed to help uplift each other. But if there are people out there who do not want to help with uplifting, one, there's nothing I can do to change them. That's their set attitude, including my cousin. That's our attitude. Should I sit here and condemn anybody for their attitude or their actions or how they live? No, that's not my job, just like it's not your job. It's up to God. If you can't let it be and let God deal with it, you've got a problem, not me. I've said it many times, I'll say it again. I know most of my neighbors by sight. I know this neighbor a little bit better than I know this neighbor. I don't know this neighbor, but I know she's a good person because she let a delivery that was supposed to go to me sit on her porch until I realized, hey, either A, there's something wrong and I need to check on her, or B, that might be my delivery. But I'm not going to go over there and just pick it up and look at it. No, I'm going to politely go over there, ring the doorbell, knock on her door, and go, "Are you okay? I've noticed these groceries sitting here for a couple of days. Do you need help bringing them in?" And she was like, "No, they're not mine. I looked at them, they're not mine. I think they're yours." I'm like, "All right, let's check." And I checked and I said, "Yes, ma'am, they delivered my stuff to the wrong place. Thank you very much for not, disposing of it." I know most of my neighbors by sight, and I can drive by their house, and if they're outside, I'll wave. Or the one time when I drove by a couple houses down, I don't know if it's a foster family or just a good-sized family of intermixed skin tones. I don't want to be rude. And they have a full-size van, and the gentleman was outside tinkering with it, and I slowed down, rolled up my window, and like, "You okay? You need any help? Is there something you need help with?" Like, "No, I got it. I was just changing out spark plugs or something like that." I was like, "Okay, you have a nice day," and drove on. That's what we're supposed to do as neighbors. We're not supposed to sit there and pull up and see the family outside with all the kids' toys and outdoor stuff out there and go, "Hey, you need to clean up that yard. That looks disgusting. Neighborhood's going downhill because of that." No, that's not our job. No. I know my cousin, she had a neighbor who was nuts, crazy, according to her. I feel sorry for my cousin to have to deal with people like that. But then she wants to jump on the bandwagon of the bakery and other negative people and belittle my family, belittle my wife, belittle me for my wife's actions. I don't control her. I live like the Norseman. It's 50-50. I have 50% of the say. She has 50% of the say. We sit down, talk it out, and come to an agreement. Now, I can give you what I know about her father, and I'm sorry that her father did not stick around to help raise her, but he had reasons to not stick around to protect her from his wrongdoings or for his actions when he was a teenager. I can go through the whole story of what I know, but I'm not going to, because that would be shining a bad light on her father and her. Because even though she wants to deny it, her father affects her in one way, shape, or form. Just like my father, who, granted, yes, I got to be with all my life, or all his life, the rest of his life, and I got to go traveling around to a different country, born in a different country, but that does not mean I should disrespect her, let alone her disrespecting me and my family. No. And the fact that she's being the way she's being and belittling my family and buying into all the garbage as her choice. But the thing is, it's going to measure up there. It's going to measure up there. I could care less what other people say about me, because I know who I am. I know who my wife is. I know what we're doing. In fact, the allegations of what we are doing by other people, one, they're false. Two, they don't have enough information to make that allegation. And three, it's not their job to point this stuff out. What's the old saying? Those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Or the new saying that I saw that I really, really like. I really like it. And I think I'm living by it. Is if people throw stones at you, don't throw them back. Keep them and build a kingdom. So, either way I spin it, I know I'm in the right. And I'm getting enough fodder and whatnot to build a kingdom. There is so many different verses throughout the Bible that I think a good 90% of mankind has forgotten or don't believe in anymore because of our modern age. I'm going to throw one out there that I heard a long time ago and I laughed my butt off. And the conversation goes like this. Scientists said, I can create life. God came by and said, oh, you can create life? Okay, we're going to use the same elements that I used to create life. Oh, don't steal any of my stuff. In other words, scientists can't do the same kind of creation God can do. Yes, scientists have figured out how to clone animals. But to clone a human being that has the spark of life from God himself would be virtually impossible because of the one element scientists cannot figure out as of yet. And that is the soul of human beings, the soul of mankind, the part that is still God's, that scientists cannot deal with, don't know how to recreate a consciousness. So if scientists would try and attempt to clone a human being, that human being would be more of a robot than a human being because there's no consciousness. Yeah. Now, there used to be a joke back in my youth about test tube babies. And what it was is because of the fact that a test tube baby is basically the egg and sperm of two different donors being introduced into a woman who would be willing to carry the baby to term. And it was about the closest thing that medical practice or science came to creating a human being, but they didn't create it outside of the womb, so to speak. And I'm kind of glad that I can't remember what group it was, what medical group, or what, if it was the Geneva Convention or some other group like that. Well, no, it wouldn't have been the Geneva Convention because that happened back in the late 40s or whatever, after to basically stop World War II. I think maybe I don't know, but anyhow, there was a agreement amongst scientists and medical people not to try to create a clone or a human being. It's considered, even they say it's one, it's virtually impossible, and two, it's just improper. Again, I'm sorry, I just jumped the tracks and went to some other part of my brain. But no. Bible clearly states how we should treat each other. The problem is, as we get further and further away from actual real Bible studies and real Bible living, things like this happen. And you get people who are hateful and negative, and just no matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter how much proof you put out there, they create some sort of twist or falsehood to the information. Now, as for Diane's claim to have seen the word prostate in one of Jerry's records, to her defense, she might have flashed the paperwork too fast, or something happened with the cameras, that it did not catch the word properly. It might have been two different words that got put together to look like prostate. I don't know. Because I don't have any records on my side that says anything about my prostate. Even though I should be getting that checked out pretty soon at my age. Which, yeah. Unless they looked at my prostate when they did my colonoscopy. I don't know. Don't know. I have to be mindful of that kind of stuff. Because I do have those pockets in my colon that have to be watched over. There's a few things that I had to bring to either Mom or Jerry to, can you translate this for me? But no, other than the diverticulitis, my prostate is pretty healthy. I just have to be mindful of those pockets and any discomfort in my gut. But yeah. But anyhow, Diane, I answered your question. Might not sound like it because I go all over the place and get, on a different track. But yeah. I said what I had to say earlier. I'm not going to repeat myself. All I have to say now before I sign off is please be mindful of what we're supposed to be. Not what society wants, because society misguides us a lot. But read your Bible. The Bible really, really tells us how we're supposed to be as human beings, not just Christians, but human beings, and how we're supposed to treat each other with dignity and respect. And those of you who want to continue to fling allegations and your version of the truth and whatnot, which if it's about yourself, fine and dandy. But if it's about us, your version might be twisted and clouded by your own issues, your own personal problems. And if you don't think you have personal problems or issues that you're deflecting onto us, well, that's fine. But do this. I know it sounds a little weird, but I'm going to say it. WWJD. What would Jesus do? Think about that. Anyhow, I'm done. So you can thumbs up, thumbs down. You can add your comments. If your comments are still negative, don't expect them to be up very long. And don't expect to be on my channel very long either. Because I'm done. You want to be negative, you don't want to hear the truth. That's not my problem. But I have the ability and right to basically remove the comment and possibly remove you from my channel. I pulled you guys out of purgatory. I gave you a chance. You don't want to take it for the right reasons, then Bye-bye. If you're not a member of my channel and choose to, your choice, you can hit the subscribe button. And once you hit the subscribe button, you can hit the bell, which will let you know when I'm putting my next video. Until next time, you guys have a good day. Bye.